Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Biff from Saxon.
Hail to the gods, the bringers of fortune. Worship the sun, the giver of life.
And the eagle has landed once again in North America. I'm here with Biff, Paul, and Doug from the legendary new wave of British metal, heavy metal band Saxon. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Right on.
Good to be back in Canada, actually. It's been a while.
How was New York and Montreal? How'd they treat you?
Oh, it was great, actually. I mean, Montreal was really surprising. We played there 3-4 years ago. It wasn't so good, was it?
Yeah, it was okay last night. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was fantastic last night. It's a bit like playing in Europe last night. So, yeah, we're expecting big things in Toronto.
Approaching 35th anniversary of being a heavy metal band. What's it like to come back to North America these days compared to, say, the early, invasion type shows where all the British bands were coming over and shredding?
It's a bit different, obviously. We sort of were, in the 80s we were doing huge festivals and huge arenas. But our manager died sort of in the middle of all that, and we changed record companies, so we didn't really capitalize in America like we did in Europe. So it really put us back a little bit in America. But we have some great fans here, and we still like to tour. And we always have our cities where we do really well. So I think it's different for everybody now, because we get a lot of young new fans in as well. But the 80s fans, they've sort of, they were there in the 80s and they went off and get married and then they come back again, so there's a lot of that going on. But it's cool, we're not really bothered how our audience are, or it's all about the music for us.
Yeah, right. So you're probably seeing another generation. Like these fans are coming with like full-grown children now already, right?
There are quite a few in the front rows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're stronger, and push their parents out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think in Europe definitely the audience has got much younger.
Right.
In America, like I say, we're not playing arena shows, so there tend to be theatres or gigs like this. So you don't see as many youngsters in gigs like this as you do in, say, an arena show.
Right. Because it's a drinking crowd.
Out, these shows are quite late, aren't they, and things. So, but there has been a massive resurgence in the music, and I think we're probably as big in Europe now as we've been ever, really.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the whacking footage online, and it's just mind blowing. Comparing that again, I keep going back, but comparing that to say headlining Reading in the 80s. Mm-hmm. We're on that sort of topic. Talk to me a bit about the vibe now as opposed to back then.
Well, the vibe now is about the same, Reading wasn't 1980, was it? It wasn't 81. It was a bit
86.
Later on. 86, Mm-hmm. And I think by 86, the edge had gone off the new wave of British heavy metal for us and Maiden and a few other bands. We were sort of, new bands were coming along around 86, especially American bands like, Cinderella, Motley Crue were really strong there. And, the Nirvana, Pearl Jam thing was starting, was going about to start. So I think, a lot of the metal bands backed off a little bit, and we did.
Well, they were kind of absorbed with all this commercial sort of hard music, and
yeah.
I think, right?
But it was a great time. It was a fantastic time. 1986 was probably our biggest year of touring. Mm-hmm. I know you showed me a picture from here, Toronto, from '86. And we had some fantastic shows then, and we do have fantastic shows now. It's just it's difficult to tour, North America at a level that we're used to.
Right.
So we have to scale it down a little bit for America.
Well, this is great tonight because it's almost like flashing back to like the Masonic Temple where the fans can really see you, and it's not like you're some tiny little speck on the horizon like at a whacking show. Yeah. But no, it's great. I'm really looking forward to that tonight. I wanted to say to you, Biff, it's very impressive that your pipes are as strong as they are these days. Like, what's the secret there?
I don't know really. I mean, I put a bit of weight on. Maybe that's made my diaphragm a bit large. That affects voices. I was only a thin little lad in them days. But yeah, I don't know really. I mean, I didn't abuse myself as a teenager. In those early bands that me and Paul were in, and early sax. I mean, right through the 80s, I didn't really drink much. And occasionally, but not a lot. And
Only when you were hanging with Lemmy, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I was hanging with Levin. But we were more into like music and girls. We weren't really into the drug side of things. So I think that probably kept us a bit healthier. And
So that's a big part of it for the young kids out there. It's like basically stay away from, if you want to be a singer, stay away from the hard stuff, right?
Yeah, if you want to sing for a long time, then don't abuse your body, in your youth. Abuse it later, man. It's much better.
Made up for it.
Made up for it now, yeah.
Awesome.
Late stars are in the rock and roll animal world,
I wanted to ask, actually, maybe Paul can take this one. With such a large body of work over the years, how do you go about select? I mean, outside the obvious. I mean, you have to play Denim and Leather. Obviously, you have to play certain songs. But how do you go about selecting songs for the current show?
Arguments.
Arguments. So you want to play Dallas 1 p.m. and Biff wants to play, Strong Arm of the, like.
He can.
Is it fist fights? Like
he can. No, not really. He can read an audience. They've got letters on their heads. So
So do you mean you call it out?
Know what to put in really.
So do you call it out random, or is it pretty much?
That's a set list. I mean, this set list we're playing now, this was voted for on Facebook.
Oh, really?
So the set list we're playing tonight, some guy in Ohio, we wanted our American fans to send in their set lists, and the best one we play.
Oh wow!
So
So
we're playing that tonight. We do change it a little bit now and again,
So are you enjoying the new? I mean, we didn't have this in the 80s and 90s. Are you enjoying this Facebook business? Like,
Yeah, we loved that Facebook then. We were totally on the digital planet, man. I think bands are like, bands like us that started in the 80s, us and Maiden, we've grown right through the digital era. Mm-hmm. We've gone right from vinyl to cassette to CD and now to MP3. So, we're totally juiced up, aren't we, on everything digital, and our website's massive, and Facebook,
fabulous,
I did
great.
try doing Twitter once, but it was just out.
Yeah, I'm not into that Twitter thing. It seems like a Facebook with
You
no
have to be on it
pictures.
all the time.
Yeah,
If you're a bit of a celeb thing, you got a lot of followers.
Yeah.
You have to be on all the time, or they all go away. So it's a bit of a. You don't want that, do you?
No.
You don't want to start with like 10,000 followers and then end up with 4.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Doug. Actually, I wanted to ask you, being the quote-unquote new guy. I mean, you've been with Saxon for like 18 years now. Give me a little background on what it was like to join an established band at that time, and how that came to be.
I mean, I was, quite a heavily working musician. Where at home in Brighton, and I knew Nigel quite well, and we gigged together sometimes in a local band, and we were pretty good friends and had the same taste in music. And obviously, Nigel was away with Saxon quite a lot, so sometimes if he was around, there were bands that we would gig with. And it was really random, out of the blue. It was Christmas '94, and Nigel phoned me and said, "Oh, we've." Graham's not in the band anymore. Do you fancy having a go? Do you want the gig? And it was that quick, really. Nigel rung Biff. I think within a couple of weeks, you guys came down, didn't you? And, that was just about 2 weeks before the Dogs tour started. So we did a day rehearsing.
And away you
They-
went.
Yeah, sent me a bunch of songs. Went to Nibs's for a couple of days and to Paul's for a couple of days to try and get through it all, and
I just took him shopping.
yeah.
He just showed him the sights of Barnsley.
Yeah.
Didn't take long. And he don't go to the bass. Good. Was Nibs. Yeah, so one of his very first gigs was in San Antonio, Texas. We flew him for a festival, didn't we?
Yeah, to
It was like-
Corpus Christi, San Antonio.
Yeah, 32,000 people.
First gig.
His first gigs, yeah.
It
Yeah.
was very early on.
We bought him a really nice cowboy hat that looked great. We used to call him Red Scarrett. That was his nickname then.
Yeah, it was a funny time. It was
a great time.
You can imagine, you know. 'cause
You know,
it was-
I see these little grins popping out of you, and I can tell it was a really good time for you, right?
It was just. It's very difficult to describe what it was
Surreal,
like.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody except for Nigel. I didn't know the crew, and I'd only met
really?
Biff, on the day of the audition, really, because you guys went off to do promo, didn't you? So,
right, yeah.
so I turned up and met the two of us in London, and then we were gone for about 2 months. It was a really long tour, the first tour, so everything was completely out of control and new. You know, equipment and everything was.
Right.
It was full on.
Speaking of equipment, while we're on that, what are you running these days? You are Marshall Gibbs? What? Go on. Which is it?
It's a mixture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mixture. Yeah, Marshall Gibson and a few tricks.
Yeah.
A few tricks. Well, hopefully you're going to give us a little gear tour, and we'll take a look at those tricks. Paul, you? What's your weapon of choice these days?
You're the same, aren't you?
Yeah. Gibson. I brought 2 Gibsons with me. One's an Explorer, one's a Les Paul.
Beautiful classic, right?
Yeah, we love the mixture of Gibsons and Marshall. Although they have other things, they have Fenders and they have Deans and they have,
Yeah, ESPs.
ESPs and things. But
Okay.
we use Gibsons a lot.
Fabulous.
We've actually started using an amp profiling now called Kemper.
Kempa. Where are they out of?
MPER from Germany.
Germany.
And it's a profiling. We can tell them, can't we?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
when-
profiler.
When we made the album, we used them. Basically, it profiles whatever amp you put into it. So we used them. Andy Sneap profiled mine and Paul's guitar sounds, loaded them into the Kemper, and because of the, especially in America when you can't carry so much equipment, basically we can travel with the sounds from the album in a small box, which is pretty revolutionary.
Awesome.
So the guitar sounds you hear tonight are the guitar sounds from the album.
Okay.
But taking it a stage further, we could play Wheels of Steel with the 1980s guitar sound.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
Right.
'Cause
Oh,
you
look.
click a button on it, and the processor, sort of profiles the sound and plays it back. I mean, it's just a little sort of preamp thing in between the guitar, the Marshall, and the cab.
Yeah, it looks
So-
like an old 50s radio
Yeah.
or something.
Fabulous. Look forward to taking a look at that later. This right here, Ron, can you get a close-up of that, please? This is a crushing record. Apparently, Biff, you stepped up to produce this record.
Yeah, I did actually. I mean, I have co-produced a lot of records in the past, with various people. But this one, I just took control of the running of the album and the day-to-day stuff we did and what we did on there. And I mean, the guys are really studio sus. It's not hard to work with the guys in the studio. But I just like give them guidance, on where to go and what bits to do when, and what sort of stuff to use. But they know what to do.
Right.
We don't go into like big issues of what guitars to use and what amps to use. But it's more of a because when we're doing albums, when we're writing, I do a lot of the arranging because I'm the only singer.
Right.
So it's natural for me to do the production on this album because I knew it inside out. So we were able to cut to the chase really quickly. That's right, isn't it? We didn't have another person there saying, "Oh, well, I think this and I think that."
Right. Well, at this point in your career, I think you're pretty much capable of
Yeah.
knowing exactly where you want to go.
And then Andy came down a couple of times to see if I was on the right point with the guitars and things.
So a little outside looking in every once in a
He
while.
came down for a couple of times, to check out what the engineer was doing more than me.
Right.
And we used our live engineer, who does all our live recordings, to engineer the album, a German guy. And then we just sent it to Andy Sneap. And I went down there, did a few vocals. They went down, redid a couple of tracks on guitar. I mean, Sacrifice they redid, because I think they thought they could play it better, got better sounds in you. And And I think actually Sacrifice is actually played on a Kemper, isn't it? The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was.
So it's the first time we've used it on an album was on that track. But yeah, I mean, just technical things really. Just able to take things away from the guys. They can work better and quicker. It's all about speed with us. We don't want to get bogged down with technicalities of, little nuances of, we're not like, we're not like a AOR band where it has to sound radio perfect.
Right.
We're not Toto or Journey. So a rough edge with us is cool.
Yeah. Well, you want to keep some of that rough edge. I mean, after you record something 4,200 times, it's not going to be as good as the first boom in your face.
No,
right?
and we recorded it quite live for the drums, didn't we?
Yeah.
The drum sound is live, and it's the bass is more or less live. I mean, some of the guitars are live. We just redid a lot of them, give them more punch. But yeah, so we pretty know what we're doing. The writing is the secret.
Oh yeah.
The recording the album's pretty
Yeah, we're normally...
pretty meat and two veg really. It's the writing that's important.
Right. I think Doug was telling me earlier that's a deluxe sort of package. There's a bonus disc in there, and it's some remakes of some old classics. Tell me a little bit about the remakes. I mean, there's a Crusader done with a symphony on there, and just the decisions behind why and the songs you chose.
We were going to do an unplugged album, and I had a studio room in France when I lived in France, and the guys came over and we did a bit of acoustic stuff there, didn't we? Just messing about with bottleneck guitars and things, good fun. Just having a bit of fun, really. Something to change, and then
that version of Coming Home.
yeah, we had
on this case, Doug played it. I was the tambourinist.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But yeah, we did Coming Home as a
It was the hand-played click track.
yeah, as bottleneck blues song.
Right.
Because we like that,
Yeah, now there's
The three of us really are more blues influenced than sort of. I think we're more than chromatic scales, aren't we?
Yeah.
Our music is more based in the blues
right.
rather than.
Now there's a couple of remakes, sort of acoustic-y. I'm not going to say. Well, we could sort of say ballad, couldn't we?
Yeah, Frozen Rainbow, the first album.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's good, that one. I mean, you got to sing that one well to sell it. We're doing it for about 5 years in downtime. We redid Battle Cry. We redid a couple of songs off the first album, Militia Guard. They didn't end up on this, but they will be on another album later on. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
It's a beautiful bonus for that package, and I swear that's just a real classy piece of product coming, from the old school.
You have to do this these days. If anybody out there, any bands or anything, thinking of, how to stop bootlegging and how to, get your actual product into people's hands, it's all about the quality of the package. The artwork. I mean, that's an old painting. It's a real painting. I'm not saying everybody can do that, but just the quality of it, glossy package. It's just great. Just get a great package.
Well, I
Put something with it, like a little DVD of your band playing, so nobody can bootleg it. Just stick it in there.
I think most, metal and rock fans still really, the imagery is still kind of part of the whole deal, really.
Exactly. I mean, we've been all scaled down from 12 inches down to 6. So
we do like 10,000 vinyls, every album. I mean,
Right, yeah.
Vinyl's taking off. I mean,
it's come back.
But my son, who's 15, he wants a deck.
A deck.
Yeah, a turntable.
okay,
Yeah, because he's got the first two Zeppelin albums out of my collection in the cellar, and he wants to hear them on, with a needle. He's never heard it.
We heard them when they came out, right?
Yeah, he wants to put it on there and hear it. He's really desperate to get one.
Yeah,
So,
I find
it's
a lot of
definitely
kids are
definitely
going
going to
back.
be a Christmas present in my house.
Awesome. I heard something about Saxon Chronicles 2. Have you guys been recording?
Yeah, we've been recording some stuff. Yeah.
And that's going to be a DVD or some
It's
kind
going
of...
to be a DVD, yeah.
Just-
It'll be a DVD with some live stuff on CD as well. Don't really know what it's going to be yet, but they've started doing the documentary, haven't they, with the guy that made Heavy Metal Thunder the movie.
Oh, great.
Same producer, and we recorded a big festival in Wales
Mm-hmm.
where we had the eagle and everything. And, we went to Barnsley to try and find the original Barnsley Civic, but we only found a little bit of it,
And rebuilt.
a corner of it.
Yeah, things change, don't they? So when can we look for that to be, or is it just sort of an
I think that's
ongoing?
going to be next year. I think that's going to be January, February.
So does that correspond with the 35th anniversary, or is that
Yeah,
just?
it does exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
Great.
And the documentary is more about this band,
Mm-hmm.
and less about the old band. You know, we covered the old band in the first Chronicles and the Heavy Metal Thunder the movie. So this is going to be more about Doug and Nibs being in the band.
Music and what new bands are kind of catching your eye? Is there anybody out there you think can carry the torch for 35 years from now?
I don't know. I mean,
I've been watching Sabaton's career closely. I like that.
yeah,
Sabaton, yes.
Yeah,
The modern version of Us and Maiden kind of thing.
yeah. I mean, I quite like A Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
Although some people think that they're new metal, but and I like them. They've got some classic bits in their songs.
Mhm.
They've got twin guitar parts. I like Bullet for My Valentine. They're pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perhaps not as big as Us and Maiden were in that early years, but
Yeah,
they're getting
they're
there.
growing.
They're getting
growing,
there, and Trivium seems to be coming back again.
True, yeah.
Coming back again strong.
Yeah.
They're cool.
A little bit of prog metal there, I think, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Doug, who are you looking at these days for new bands?
To be honest, I've really gone backwards.
Oh, really?
You
pulled out your old first Black Sabbath record, did you?
I'm kind of, I'm listening to Zep quite a lot
Zeppelin,
again.
yeah.
Not that I ever particularly stopped, but I'm enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah, Zeppelin is something I think you rediscover as a fan. You rediscover every couple of years. I think
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of modern bands that I like. I've got quite a diverse taste in music, to be honest. But I found myself really getting into Gary Moore.
Yeah.
Again,
Well, rest in peace, right?
Yeah.
Amazing guitar player.
The Who, I'm getting into.
The Who. Back
I
to
went
the
to
Who.
see them in London.
Oh yeah.
5 weeks ago. Fantastic.
Still fantastic.
So yeah, I sometimes forget how much the Who influenced us.
Mhm.
It's one of them bands,
You can hear it in Susie Eldon.
Yeah, they really influenced us, and fantastic songs.
You guys influence, Metallica and Megadeth.
Yeah,
I mean, what does that do for your sort of? What does
it's
that?
hard to tell what it does for us. I mean, actually, I think it's nice that they, came out and said, that
Mhm.
we were one of their biggest influences. I think that's cool for Metallica and for Megadeth, and obviously a lot of bands. Pantera used to say the same thing. It's nice because these guys grew up, through the 80s, and for a lot of American bands, we were like a cult band that got discovered.
Mhm.
They discovered us.
Well, it was
before
very
before
underground.
radio did.
Very underground, even
Yeah,
when I
definitely.
discovered Saxon.
And,
we had to pass albums around
Yeah, we
secretly
like
between
to
us,
be
right?
underground though. We're still a bit underground in
Absolutely.
America,
Yeah.
We still have that sort of European edge to us, but we like it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for doing this with us,
Yeah.
guys. Really appreciate it. Really looking forward to seeing the band just
Yeah.
shred.
Yeah, come down and look at the gear.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Thank you very much, guys.